Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about handmade carpets from around the world. Welcome you to our channel. Hope you and your family are doing well. In today's episode, I'm going to be featuring Afghan handmade tribal rugs, particularly those from the northeastern parts of Afghanistan. These are what is known as the Kunduz carpets, very popular with clients who are into the Afghans or the tribal rugs. And these are the types of carpets that I've also been getting a lot of questions about. And I have made a few videos about the various types of Afghan rugs. And so I thought I'm going to do a quick follow-up and reintroduce the carpets to you that many of you cherish in your homes. These are beautiful handmade carpets that have the designs date back centuries from the Afghan, Persian, Uzbek cultures and people. This is something that has literally been, it has gone unchanged for centuries. These types of carpets, and this is something that I personally love about them, is they tend to be inexpensive and these are made to last. These are the types of carpets that the tribal people, whether it's in Afghanistan, whether it's Uzbekistan, whether it's parts of Iran, these are the types of carpets that are made locally by various groups. I'm not big into, to me, some people refer to them as tribes or nomads. But basically, these are tribal rugs made in small communities, but they're meant to be made for a purpose. This is not something that you're looking at when they were being made, that they were being made for luxurious, homes or something. No, these are carpets that are meant to be used on a daily basis. And they're basically light, but they are very sturdy. They are very well made. And they're made in such a way that they basically have withstood the test of time. You have Afghan rugs right here, 3 examples. These are all from the Kunduz area, from the northeastern parts of Afghanistan. These are all made out of wool, wool pile, cotton foundation, but sometimes you also have the sheep foundation, the sheep wool, and sometimes you also have, whether it is, most of them are cotton foundation, but sometimes you also get the wool foundations. But you can see the designs, and this is something that is very classic for handmade carpets from not just the Afghan area, but you also have parts of Pakistan, and you also have, like I said, the southern part of Uzbekistan. This deep, rich red color that you see in the 2 carpets to the outside, as well as the designs right here. This design right here to my left in the center, oftentimes referred to as the Bukhara design. But again, I just wanted to introduce you to these types of carpets. As I'm always done in my videos, I'm about to, when I get behind the camera, I'm just going to quickly showcase each one of the 3 pieces. These are very traditional, these are classic examples of what the Afghan rugs are known for. And like I said, they tend to be fairly inexpensive. If you go in the stores or if you look online, one of the reasons, for example, why I don't feature a lot of these carpets at mprugs.com is simply because, being that I have clients all over the world, for some of these carpets, the shipping, sending them across oceans, whether it is FedEx or with UPS like I do with all of my clients, the shipping would be so expensive that it just wouldn't make sense. It doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't make sense to charge $500, $400 for shipping, which sometimes is what a large size Afghan rug would cost to ship for me across the world, when the carpet itself may only be $1,500 or $2,000. And so that's why I always tell my clients, if something doesn't make sense, I will not offer it, because I don't want to sell something that ends up being much more expensive than elsewhere. And these are the types of carpets that have become very popular. Even some of the larger home decor stores are selling them. Although I do want to advise you on those, if you're going to a department store to buy handmade carpets, be very mindful of the fact that they may not be genuine, authentic. These are oftentimes the more mass-produced types of carpets. But in this case right here, these are the types of rugs that you will find in most rug stores, online shops, if you look for Afghan rugs. And very popular. As I mentioned to you earlier, they have the wool pile. You typically have a cotton foundation. Sometimes you also have sheep wool or regular wool as a foundation. They tend to be natural dyes, and this is also one of the reasons why, for example, you have a lot of reds in the colors. It's tend to be one of the easier colors to make, and because of it, they can make them in larger quantities. And remember, these are made by folks in small communities, so you don't have big machinery available and everything. So things have to be simple. They have to be easily produced. And one of the things that has always been easily done is the red dyes in the carpets. It's one of the reasons why you'll see a lot of the tribal rugs, whether it is, like I said, the one on the right, the one on the left, you'll see them with a lot of either red as a main color or as a background color, like you see in this light piece right here. These are very common. So there's an actual reason why they tend to be reddish. Another thing that I can tell you is that on the Kunduz carpets, they tend to be a little bit better quality than for example, the popular, commonly known as Khal Mohammadi carpets. Also Afghan. The Kunduz tend to be a little bit bigger. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm just going to step aside here real quick. Kunduz area, northern Afghanistan. You have, because of where it's located at, you can see the influence that it is getting from all the various parts of all the tribes. And as you all know, I don't think I need to tell anyone about all the horrific conflicts that the people of Afghanistan have had to endure over the decades. And as a result of it, there has always been a lot of migration. And this actually dates back to what I call before all the drama began. Even back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, going back, I think, almost centuries, you always had movement of people. And so because these are, for a large part, tribal people, nomadic, you had a lot of movement. This is why a lot of the carpets that you see from the Kunduz area are very similar to some of the carpets made in Pakistan as well as Uzbekistan, because you have all of that influence. So this is why I thought I'm going to feature this, because these are the types of carpets I get a lot of questions about. For example, we had a lot of servicemen who have returned from Afghanistan. And oftentimes they would bring back a carpet, they would hand it to their families, to their friends, and eventually someone sees my videos on the YouTube channels and they say, well, Mike, you know what, we got this carpet, can you tell us a little bit about it? And these are the types of carpets I get a lot of questions about. So I thought I'd do a quick video here for you. Now, before I get behind the camera, as I always do, I'm going to feature I'm just going to briefly feature each one of the rugs and give you a little bit of an idea of what they look like and what they feel like up close. Just to let you know, below is a video in the description of all of our videos. In the descriptions, you'll see the link to the video where I show you what I would need in order to answer questions that you may have about a carpet that you have. This is something that I like to do as part of our channel. I would like to make myself available to you. So if you have a carpet and you're looking for just some general ideas, I don't do appraisals because I need to see the carpets in person, and this is not really something I like to do. But if you just want some general information, feel free to look at the video below in the description. Tells you what kind of pictures I need and in what size. Feel free to email them to us. Also, if you like our channel, obviously, if you like to hit the like button or subscribe. With the subscription, I typically take about 1 or 2 videos a month now. And I will oftentimes answer questions and also showcase all different types of handmade carpets from around the world. So if this is something that you enjoy, feel free to hit that subscribe button. So I'm gonna get behind the camera. I'm gonna feature these 3 carpets. It's great examples. These are classic examples of carpets from the Kunduz area. And then I'm gonna come back to you later and say my final goodbyes. So here we have the close-ups. I thought I'm just gonna feature them. These are all 3 classic Kunduz carpets. And so I'm just gonna briefly basically give you a little taste of what they look like. These are very typical. This is what you will find in the stores. This roundish design, this design right here, the gold design, very similar also to, let's see here. We have 3 classic designs, but they kind of overlap. You have the gold design, we have the Bukhara design. But you notice, if you were to take, this is a classic Bukhara. And if you were to take the Bukhara, and if you were to literally squeeze, imagine this right here, I think of it as almost like a melon or a walnut. And if you squeeze it, you end up with a design similar that you see here. This is something that you'll find amongst the Afghan rugs. You have a lot of similarities, the cultural identities. Like I said, these are all made with a thin wool pile. And thin is actually, you know what, these are really nice. It's a mixture. Some of them have sometimes a little bit like a Turkish knot, otherwise have a Persian knot. But the thing is, it's the type of wool that they use that really, it almost like expands after the carpets are woven. And so you have really fine knots, but it's typical to have carpets that have sometimes 200 knots per square inch. And this is where the Kunduz carpets are also finer than the Khal Mohammadi ones. But you will typically, for example, both of these are made Kunduz. Here you have the finer piece. Here you have a little bit of a lower knot count, but you have very, very solid rugs. These are designed to last you for literally decades. And then finally, here we have another piece right here. I mentioned typically rugs are made with a cotton foundation, But there are times when the foundation, when, in other words, when the fringes, when they're not cotton, instead when they're wool or sheep. And here you have an actual example. This right here is wool foundation. This is actually unusual. Normally they're cotton. But this is what you will find amongst the Afghan rugs. Very classic. So I thought I'm just going to feature some of these types of carpets, just briefly introduce them to you, as I'm getting a lot of questions about them. But if, like I said, if you just Google Afghan carpets, you're going to find a whole lot of carpets that are similar to these. So I thought I'm going to just feature them real briefly. And so yeah, I'm going to come back to you right now and just give you guys my final words. Here's our video about the Kunduz carpets of northern Afghanistan. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I mentioned to you earlier, if you have any questions, feel free. There's lots of information in the description below and details. Also, feel free to contact us or leave us any questions in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be coming back to you in a few weeks with many more videos to come. In the meantime, I wish you and your family the very best. Till we see each other again, take care. Bye-bye.